1 Corinthians 8 through 10. Now concerning things sacrificed to idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. But if anyone thinks that he knows anything, he does not yet know as he ought to know. But if anyone loves God, the same is known by him. Therefore, concerning the eating of things sacrificed to idols, we know that no idol is anything in the world, and that there is no other God but one. For though there are things that are called gods, whether in the heavens or on earth, as there are many gods and many lords, yet to us there is one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we for him, and one Lord, Yeshua the Messiah, through whom are all things, and we live through him. However, that knowledge is not in all men, but some, with consciousness of the idol until now, eat as of a thing sacrificed to an idol, and their conscience, being weak, is defiled. But food will not commend us to God, for neither if we did not eat are we the worse, nor if we eat are we the better. But be careful that by no means does this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to the weak. For if a man sees you who have knowledge sitting in an idol's temple, will not his conscience, if he is weak, be emboldened to eat things sacrificed to idols? And because of your knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for the sake of whom Messiah died? Thus, sinning against the brothers and wounding their conscience when it is weak, you sin against Messiah. Therefore, if food causes my brother to stumble, I will eat no meat forevermore, that I do not cause my brother to stumble. Am I not free? Am I not an emissary? Have I not seen Yeshua the Messiah, our Lord? Are you not my work in the Lord? If to others I am not an emissary, yet at least I am to you. For you are the seal of my office of emissary in the Lord. My defense of those who examine me in this is this: have we no right to eat and to drink? Have we no right to take a wife who is a believer, even as the rest of the emissaries and the brothers of the Lord and Kepha? Or have only Barnabas and I no right to not work? What soldier serves at his own expense, who plants a vineyard and does not eat of its fruit, or who feeds a flock and does not drink from the flock's milk? Do I speak these things according to the ways of men? Or does not the Torah also say the same thing? For it is written in the Torah of Moses, you shall not muzzle an ox while it treads out the grain. Is it for the ox that God cares? Or does he say it assuredly for our sake? Yes, it was written for our sake, because he who plows out to plow in hope, and he who threshes in hope should partake of his hope. If we sowed to you spiritual things, is it a great thing if we reap your fleshly things? If others partake in this right over you, do we not more? Nevertheless, we did not use this right, but we bear all things, that we may cause no hindrance to the good news of Messiah. Do you not know that those who serve around sacred things eat from the things of the temple, and those who wait on the altar have their portion with the altar? Even so the Lord ordained that those who proclaim the good news should live from the good news. But I have used none of these things, and I do not write these things that it may be done so in my case. For I would rather die than that anyone should make my boasting void. For if I proclaim the good news, I have nothing to boast of, for necessity is laid on me. But woe is to me if I do not proclaim the good news. For if I do this on my own will, I have a reward. But if not on my own will, I have a stewardship entrusted to me. What then is my reward? that when I proclaim the good news, I may present the good news of Messiah without charge, so as not to abuse my authority in the good news. For I thought I was free from all. I brought myself under bondage to all, that I might gain the more. And to the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain Jews. To those who are under the Torah, as under the Torah, that I might gain those who are under the Torah. To those who are without Torah, as without the Torah, not being without Torah toward God, but under Torah toward Messiah, that I might win those who are without Torah. To the weak I became weak, that I might gain the weak. I have become all things to all men, that I may be all that I may by all means save some. Now I do this for the sake of the good news, that I may be a joint partaker of it. Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run like that you may win. Every man who strives in the games exercises self-control in all things. Now they do it to receive a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Therefore I run like that, not aimlessly. I fight like that, not beating the air, but I beat the body and bring it into submission, lest by any means, after I preach to others, I myself should be rejected. Now I would not have you be ignorant, brothers, that our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all immersed into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of a spiritual rock that followed them, and the rock was Messiah. However, with most of them, God was not pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were examples to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Do not be idolaters, as some of them were. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Let us not commit sexual immorality, as some of them committed, and in one day 23,000 fell. Let us not test Messiah, as some of them tested and perished by the serpents. Do not grumble, as some of them also grumbled and perished by the destroyer. Now all these things happened to them by way of example, and they were written for our admonition, on whom the ends of the ages have come. Therefore let him who thinks he stands be careful that he does not fall. No temptation has taken you except what is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted above what you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way of escape, that you may be able to endure. Therefore, my beloved, flee from idolatry. I speak as to wise people. Judge for yourselves what I say. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not a sharing of the blood of Messiah? The bread which we break, is it not a sharing of the body of Messiah? Because there is one loaf of bread, we, who are many, are one body, for we partake of the one loaf of bread. Consider Israel according to the flesh. Do not those who eat the sacrifices participate in the altar? What am I saying then? That a thing sacrificed to idols is anything, or that an idol is anything? But I say that these things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to demons and not to God. And I do not desire that you would have fellowship with demons. You cannot both drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot both partake in the table of the Lord and the table of demons. Or do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? Are we? All things are lawful for me, but not all things are profitable. All things are lawful for me, but not all things build up. Let no one seek his own, but each one his neighbor's good. Whatever is sold in a butcher's shop, eat, asking no question of the sake of conscience. For the earth belongs to Yahweh in all its fullness. But if one of those who do not believe invites you to a meal, and you are inclined to go, eat whatever is set before you, asking no questions for the sake of conscience. But if anyone says to you, this was offered to idols, do not eat it for the sake of the one who told you, and for the sake of conscience. For the earth belongs to Yahweh and all its fullness. Conscious, I say, not your own, but the other's conscience. For why is my liberty judged by another's conscience? But if I partake with thankfulness, why am I denounced because of something I gave thanks for? Therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Give no offense either to Jew or to Greeks, or to the assembly of God, just as I also please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of the many, that they may be saved.